Huge series against the Yankees. Big statement. We'll break it down.
Francisco Alvarez is the best catcher in the major leagues. We'll tell you all the numbers you got to know.
And an interview with Kenny Smith. Here's a clip. We'll see you on the other side to start the show.
I used to ride my bike up Flushing Meadow Park. I used to go up to the train station, and right on the stop, you could see everything but right field. And I watched the game. So if anything that hit right field, you'd be like, oh, what happened? You know, and then there would always be like maybe 10 people up there, and the guy would have a radio, and we would just listen.
Welcome to Meet at the Apple. I'm Vito Calisi. That's Jonathan Barron. This is Grimace. And John, I feel like I just watched one of my favorite, that's an all-time Subway Series game for me. I'm tired, I'm loopy, I'm hyped up. I'm in another planet right now.
I do remember the last time the Mets did something like this to the Yankees. New Day interleague play, they play 2 here, 2 there. Back in the day, it was 3-3. And the Mets dominated the Yankees in a way that they have not done since the 2004 Subway Series installment that happened at Chase Stadium, a.k.a. the Richard Hidalgo Series. The Mets put up 21 runs over 2 innings against the Yankees. They do it against Garrett Cole and Luis Gil. Garrett Cole, the 2023 Cy Young winner. Luis Gil, the guy that was replacing the 2023 AL Cy Young winner for the Yankees while Cole was out. Add these two to the list of good pitchers the Mets have just, going back to, the last couple weeks, we talked about what they did to Dylan Cease and John Gray, and now these two guys, and Javier Assad and Shota Imanaga. We said this a couple weeks ago, and we were there before it really came to roost. This offense is tough to deal with for opposing teams, and they are averaging, Vito, 7.1 runs per game during the 11-2 span, a.k.a. the Grimace era.
The Grimace, you could call it a lot of era. You could call it the Grimace era. You could call it the June Mets. You can call it the selfie picture. You could call it the team meeting. This team is on fire, and they're beating good baseball teams. They're beating good pitchers. And I'm just, I can't believe what, or you know what? Since OMG started playing, there's so many different things happening this year. And OMG is going to be a rally cry for this team the entire year. John, it's just the numbers they put up, the 7 home runs in this series, just every single one just felt so much better than the last. And yes, is it because it's the Yankees? 100%.
You said the Mets hit 7 home runs in this series.
I did say that.
That ties a Met record for the most in any 2-game span against the Yankees. They hit 4, all against Garrett Cole, by the way, on Tuesday night, and they hit 3 on Wednesday night. Mark Vientos, 2 homers. He homered on back-to-back pitches. At one point, going back to the 451-foot blast on Sunday night, he had homered on 3 of 5 pitches he had seen. That's unreal. This guy is here, 24 years old. Then you get
24. Can I say what's crazy about 24? Whoa.
Tell me.
24. Willie Mays, 24.
That's right.
And in the last 10 games, the Mets have hit 24 home runs.
They have. The offense has been absolutely unbelievable. I mean, it's 1 through 9. 8 different guys in this series. We said this after the Texas series, all the different guys that contributed. In 2 games here against the Yankees, 8 different guys drove in at least 1 run. You had Tyrone Taylor with a huge series, 4 RBI. You had Mark Vientos, who we mentioned, and Alvarez, who we mentioned, Harrison Bader with 2 home runs.
Harrison Bader was electric this series.
Harrison Bader has 7 extra base hits in his last 8 games.
And Harrison Bader, it doesn't stop there. Harrison Bader goes playing top-tier baseball, both sides of the plate. Dude, watching Harrison, I saw one of the writers say this on Twitter, and I was thinking this even before I saw this, but watching Harrison Bader play center field at Citi Field is special. The way Harrison Bader moves is unbelievable. I've never seen somebody slide so smoothly.
Yeah, I mean, that's why he's a Gold Glove winner, 2021 Gold Glove winner with the Cardinals. It was all clicking for the Mets in this series. Want to talk about Francisco Alvarez and what a night he had on Wednesday. 3 for 3, a walk. He's now hit safely in 9 straight games. He has an on-base percentage of .605, and he now has the highest OPS by any catcher in the majors with at least 100 plate appearances, a .904 mark. He is the best catcher in baseball. We've told you, we've talked about, you guys know the stats, the record when he's in the lineup, when he starts. The Mets don't lose virtually ever when he's behind the dish starting, and he is an absolute force at the plate. He hit 5th tonight, 5 through 9 in the Mets order on Wednesday night combined for 7 of the 12 hits and 10 of the 12 RBIs. That's how deep this lineup is. Then you have Francisco Lindor at the top of it. Back-to-back days, getting things started for the Mets with doubles. How about the top of the first inning on Tuesday night, by the way? David Peterson gets himself in a little bit of a jam. And then he works his way right out of it. Set the tone for the whole series, if you ask me.
You know what I wanted? You know what I wanted to tweet out so badly?
What? I mean, why didn't you do it?
I wanted to tweet out the first inning. I wanted to tweet out a screenshot of the first inning of both games. And I wanted to say, how many runs do you think they scored here?
None. And that's another reason for that is because the Mets defense, by the way. The Mets turned 4 double plays in this series. All of them were timely. They executed when they had to behind their pitchers, and they helped them through the tough times. And even when things got a little bit hairy for the Mets, they hunkered down. You know, Reed Garrett gives up the grand slam, comes back out, has an up-down, comes back for the 9th. 1, 2, 3, no problem. Yeah. Today, Danny Young gives up the 2-run home run. Oh, well. Doesn't give anything else up.
Mark Vientos makes a mistake. They get right out of it.
They get out of it. Bottom half of the inning, Tyrone Taylor blows it open with a 3-run home run. Game's over. The Yankees are just trying to not get through guys. They go to Toronto. They got a game on Thursday.
Watching the Yankees bench players like this was the last game of a regular NBA, the last game of an NBA season. Just watching guys just get put onto the bench to end this. What a way to get back to 500. And like, that's something that means so much. And the reason that for me, this is one of my favorite of all time, and I'm going to have met one. We were in the booth. I was with Ty, Janie, Will, Amanda, Jess, Hunter. We were just having such a fun night, and how important it was for this team to get back to 500 after being 11 games under. It means so much because this team has worked so hard, and we have never seen a June like this as Mets fans. This is usually the June where it all falls apart. But this year, I don't know. It's not just this guy. It's not this guy. It's the guys over there in the clubhouse. But it's also the fans showing up and really supporting the boys like Carlos Mendoza said to us last week. I'm on cloud 9 right now, kid. Like, and you know what?
What?
You know why?
Why?
You know why the Yankees didn't score in the first inning of those 2 games?
Tell me.
Because their lineup's not deep, son.
Yes, I mean, they're dealing with some injuries. You know, the Mets and Yankees won't see each other until July.
John, I'm tired.
I know you are. So we don't have to really talk too much about them. You know, Garrett Cole was...
Yeah, tell me about that. Tell me about that Mets ERA, pal.
Well, forget the Mets ERA. I mean, you know, what the Mets did to him on Tuesday was impressive. The Mets only swung and missed 5 times against Garrett Cole. 4 home runs hit. We told you that. No strikeouts whatsoever. So the Mets really made him work. The Mets really put Cole in a situation where they were laying off pitches that were a little borderline, a little bit out. They weren't chasing. Cole said to himself, and he said this after the game, yeah, I kind of stopped throwing as hard as I could because I was a little bit wild and I wasn't effective, and I had to live in the strike zone a little bit more. And the Mets made him come in the strike zone, and the Mets made him pay for the mistakes that he made. So they, again, were in control in the batter's box. We've talked about it over and over. The way that they work counts. My favorite plate appearance of Wednesday night's game, by the way, 3 home runs, all these dramatic moments, multiple extra base hits, yada, yada, yada. Mark Vientos walking with the bases loaded. For me, for him to come up in that situation, you know, that's the kind of spot where...
That's what he said to us a few weeks ago, that he goes up there and he's either going to strike out or hit a home run.
But that's not what he is. I know in that spot against the Cardinals,
It's just like I said about getting back to 500. It's just like it means so much to these guys. Mark Vientos being able to get to a point when he had to hear all these people saying before he got called up last year, his biggest problem is his plate discipline. His biggest problem is that watching him get to where he is and really being able to work a count, we've seen it a bunch of times this season. Mark Vientos, like you said, like we've all seen, Mark Vientos is here.
Yeah, I mean, he's becoming a very well-rounded player. You mentioned the good plays defensively, him diving, and then making a good throw to get Anthony Volpe, who is one of the fastest guys probably the fastest guy on the Yankees, made it look easy. But him working that walk, you know, he took the first pitch he swung. He kind of swung out of his shoes. And he stepped out and he took a breath. And it was almost like he said to himself, all right, yeah, I'm not going to do that anymore. You know, I'm going to spit on that pitch. And, you know, he works the count full and he gets on, draws a bases loaded walk. It was just another step in the evolution and the maturation of a player who is growing before our eyes. It's beautiful to see.
That was an interesting term to use there. Let's talk about Sean Manaea. 1,000 career strikeouts.
Yeah, 5 innings, only 2 hits allowed. You know, when he did find
Sean has sneaky good games.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good pitcher. He was a great addition by the Mets. Yeah, I mean, him and David Peterson did a really good job in these 2 games, you know, working out of the jams, like I said, when they got themselves into them. David Peterson had 8 strikeouts on Tuesday night. I didn't realize that. I went back, looked at the box score. He had 8 strikeouts. He had the swing and miss stuff working. So, you know, both of those guys, tip of the cap to them. The bullpen, especially on Wednesday night.
In a tough time, like, let's remember, we saw Sean Reed Foley go down. We saw Drew Smith go down, and we saw Edwin have to deal with the 10-game suspension, all in the same, 3-day span?
Yeah, Adrian Hauser coming in, getting his first career save, pitching the last 3 innings. The Mets are going to enjoy a day off on Thursday. Then they have the Astros, but the bullpen's going to be fully rested for that Astros series. They're 2 out of the 10 days without Edwin down already. So, you know, to win those 2 games, that's massive. I mean, you know, it was just a great 2 days. I don't want to say I'm shocked. Usually these Subway series are splits, right? Like, that's usually the way it goes.
It's pretty much, I think, like, we didn't go in thinking the Mets were going to lose today, but you went in just with the thought of
almost house money.
They won yesterday, and, like, usually, like John said, they usually split it. Like, it just feels great. Like, it was fun. Like, the ballpark was so fun the last 2 days. We got to talk about Grimace Guy.
Oh, yeah.
On the Shea Bridge.
During the rain delay.
During the rain delay, I'll put the video up right here. I don't know if I'm allowed to because it's somebody else's property.
You got to credit them.
So do I just put like little parentheses there? Look, I'm going to put this video up. I hope it's okay. I'm going to credit you. I'm going to put your Twitter handle there. This dude led what looked like just a Grimace rally on the Shea Bridge during the rain delay. It was on SportsCenter.
All I saw was a sea of cell phones, as if it was like Avicii doing a big set on a big stage at a big EDM concert.
Your go-to reference.
So what? What's your go-to reference?
I don't know, man. I have a lot of references.
Yeah, you're acting a little different on this episode.
I am tired.
Me too.
And I have to edit this.
I can't say the same.
And I got here at 10 a.m. today.
It's bad.
It's bad.
You know, 3 hours and 5 minutes.
And I'm driving home.
This guy's got wheels, everybody. Everyone drop a comment underneath the video, or maybe even on the podcast comments. Congratulate Wheels Khaleesi over here on getting the Nissan Rogue. This guy's whipping it around. So if you're in Astoria and you're a pedestrian, walk cautiously. If you're driving and you see this guy, maybe in a Grimace face mask or something like that, trying to signal, get over, let him in, because I don't think he's got the full...
I got hit by a speed trap.
You already got a ticket already?
A speed trap, yeah.
Wait, are you serious?
And I was warned about...
Wait, how do you... It usually takes time for those to come in the mail.
I saw the light flash.
So you think, you don't know.
I was the only car.
Where was it?
I was warned.
Where was it?
It was right off of the BQE exit.
Oh, that's a dude. You should know that one though.
I just started, but no, the messed up thing is, Brendan's warned me about it. Jenna's warned me about it. My good friend John Grady all warned me about it, and I forgot. But look,
I hope you were smiling when they took the picture of you.
I don't know, but look, all I know is the Mets are hot right now. Friday night's going to be a blast. You're listening to this episode right now. Friday night, Pride, fireworks, Friday night DJ. Also, we're giving out a sick hat. I think there's two of them in here somewhere. Friday's going to be sick. You got to be here. You got to be here all weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, going to be one of the most fun weekends of the season, I think.
What's great about all that's happening right now, and we talked about this on Sunday night after the Mets beat the Cubs, was that win parlays and snowballs the energy and the fans. With each passing win, people now are like, oh, I gotta be there. This is the place to be. And we just started the summer. It's going to be an incredibly fun summer here at Citi Field. You guys got to get here and be a part of the energy. This stadium, these two games, I know, of course, you know, the filth from the Bronx, they came over.
The Mutant Zoo.
The Mutant Zoo from the Bronx. They got to add to the atmosphere, I guess, a little bit. Sucks for them. They had a tough trip back over the RFK Bridge, but it has been so much fun here these last 2 days. And I know that Mets fans are going to be coming out and supporting the boys and making noise and getting loud and making this a tough place to play. We saw the light show both nights with a full ballpark, cell phones out, lights on. It looked amazing. You guys crushed it. You guys listened to Mendy. He told you guys what to do. I mean, from start to finish, it was an awesome 2 games. And, you know, let's cherish it. It doesn't always go this way, especially when the Mets and Yankees play. But, I mean, let's be honest. Like, this was an absolute whooping. Like, this wasn't competitive. It wasn't competitive whatsoever.
Yesterday was.
Honestly, Yes, but no. Like when you have a 7-run lead, you can get a little loosey-goosey like that.
I get that, but you were holding on to your butt for a second there.
Yeah, but that's, to me, that's pitching to the score. Yeah. That's pitching to the score.
Also, like
Judge hits a grand slam. Cool, you still need 2 more runs to score to tie the game.
Also, like, I want to give credit to Danny Young. That's not an easy position to go up against 2 of the best hitters in Major League Baseball that are dominating all season.
Yeah, and how about Adam Ottavino getting out of a jam, getting Ben Rice,
having that moment where, look, you've seen this happen in so many games before. Mark Vientos bobbles the ball, they don't get the out. How many times do you see a pitcher?
The floodgates open.
Floodgates open. They don't get the out that they think that they know that they are earned, and it just snowballs. What happens? Adam Ottavino goes out there. He gets the out after having trouble yesterday. What you're seeing is this team bounces back constantly. And it's fun to be a Mets fan right now, guys. Like John said before, right now, we're playing with house money. You heard JD Martinez say it before. He said it after the team meeting. He said, nobody expects us to win 101 games, so let's go out there and just win every game we possibly can, take it day by day. We say that every week on the podcast. I had so much fun tonight, and I want more Mets fans to come have fun with us this weekend. And I'm going to have a blast. It's going to be such a good vibe here. It's the summer. Like, the summer's finally here. Kids are out of school. All other sports are over.
Yeah, I mean, it's baseball season now. And, we spoke with Evan Roberts yesterday, and he said
That's baseball, Susan.
She wasn't here tonight.
She wasn't?
No, she didn't do tonight's game.
Oh, that's funny because there were rules that were still being...
There were what?
There were like rules that were still being followed.
What are you talking about?
I'll tell you after.
Okay. Yeah, no, she did not do Wednesday's game.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, she wasn't here. But
that was pretty funny for me to say that's baseball, Susan, I think, in that moment.
No, it was. I tried to put that on the scoreboard, and I was asked.
You got the other one in, though.
Which one?
A Boone?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it wasn't really about him.
You texted me to ask me to take the picture.
About the vibes thing. It wasn't about the header at all.
Got it.
Yeah. For everyone wondering, what the heck are they talking about? We put this information on City Vision tonight. The Mets, in the month of June, have the best winning percentage. They lead the National League in batting average, in on-base percentage, in slugging percentage, in runs scored, and they lead the goddamn world in vibes, baby, because they're immaculate right now.
The vibes are so good right now. I'm so happy. Guys, look, we're going to cut this one short because we have been here for a long time.
2-game series. It's all good.
2-game series. It's been a long day, but we're going to be back for our recap on Sunday, as well as some other stuff we got in the works that I think you guys will really like.
When's that bonus episode going out?
We will see.
Okay.
Because there might be another. Who knows? I haven't heard about another bonus thing, so we'll see if that's, But here's the point. This weekend, you got your dad hat, your Pride Dad hat on Friday, your fireworks, your DJ. It's going to be a great night. Then Saturday...
there's a party going on here on Saturday.
Saturday, there's a party. There's the block party.
We got the block party. Starts at 1:10. For all you early arrivers, we got a great thing going on by the Seaver entrance, so sort of on the third base side of the stadium, kind of by parking lot B. Lots opening at 1:10. We have a block party for the first time. Food, music, games, you name it. I think Vito and I are going to go out there, say hello to some people. We'll be handing out some stuff as well. It's going to be an awesome time.
Are you going to come?
I am at the Mets block party, of course.
Yeah.
How can you not be? Oh, and then Sunday. We didn't even mention it. I mean, you guys, I know that you're probably sitting there saying, John's not wearing sleeves for a change. Well, that's for a reason. So I'm trying to match your energy with that one.
That's my thing. You can't both be crazy energy.
Sorry.
No, what are you doing?
It's 12:21. It's Thursday already.
All right, here's the thing. We got to get out of here. But before we get out of here, we want you to enjoy this interview with Kenny Smith. We interviewed Kenny Smith. He sat right here.
He did.
Talked to him right before the Subway Series. Kenny Smith grew up a Mets fan.
And then became a Yankee fan.
And then I called him out on some stuff. So enjoy this interview with Kenny Smith. Guys, subscribe to the podcast. Apple, Spotify, leave some reviews. Follow us on Twitter. I'm at Vito F. Khaleesi. He's at JMB9191. But we need those damn reviews. We need those comments. Tell your friends. Tell everybody. Who else is here at 12:21 recording a podcast for you all than us?
I know someone. Our guy Ty. Ty, shout out to you for sticking around. Long rain delay, long game, over 3 hours, and you're still here. Also rocking the jersey. These things are sweet, by the way. I mean, this is like a little ABA Nets with the blue and orange. Big NBA night. Sorry, Evan Roberts, for the Mikal Bridges deal. Oh, well. He liked that.
He did.
He liked it.
He did.
He liked it.
All right, guys, look, thanks so much for tuning in. You heard all my directions before. Like, subscribe, comment, at Vito F. Khaleesi, at JMB9191. Thank you all for listening. Love you all. Let's go, Mets! Hey, it's Vito Khaleesi, Jonathan Barron, and we're meeting at the Apple today with somebody super special. We're here with Kenny Smith right now. You know Kenny from just every Wednesday on TNT.
Well, you know, nice job if you can do it once a week.
My first memory of you, Kenny, playing NBA Live. And
Really?
you doing the yes.
The voice of
Yes.
the NBA Live.
Dude, I would Jason Richardson, dunk contest. I would just all day sit there, go through the legs twice while he's airborne, and then you tell me how good I was.
The funny thing is, I used to, when we did the recordings, I would make sure that I would do some like really sarcastic things. So people would really be upset at times. So they would just let me freestyle and just put anything in the game that I wanted to do. I said, give me like 10 minutes to just freestyle. And so I would just say whatever I wanted, you know.
How much of that would make it into the game?
Oh, a lot of it makes it in because that's the part that they like. you know?
What's a day like recording one of those games? Because you have to have pretty much like an endless loop of stuff and all these different
Yeah,
scenarios.
you have
like,
to be able to say, think about it, you say every player's name, first and last, and then things that he possibly could do or not do.
how long is that recording?
It's a week. It takes a week, about 6 hours a day for about about a week.
But I
You
feel like
had to go to site, right? Like,
No, they come to us. They come to us
okay.
in Atlanta, and they're in the studio, and then we just kind of do it. And then we used to have the motion capture suits on, which was kind of like that week before. You're like, no bread.
those things don't hide much.
Yeah, they
ping
don't
pong
hide
balls?
much. Yeah, with the ball,
with the
things
balls.
with the pop balls on your arms and all of that.
you
Kind
think
of
you're
thing.
making Avatar, but you're just recording.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, they want to get the authentic looks.
And I feel like doing those games like helps you so much because like you've seen with Vasgersian, like
Yeah, man.
that's how you get the younger generation to always remember you because they think about that game and then
but
as long as they play.
they know me from that.
Like
Yeah.
that's why I told like I went. I mean, NBA Live 01, 02, 03, like Jason Kidd on the cover.
Right. That's
First
it.
memories.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
Got a lot of memories since.
So
by the
you
way.
have, I have an AAU basketball team, so I'm in that field. I'm in the game, so I'm in there. I do the college Final Four, and then I do the NBA. So there's no part of basketball. You cannot do basketball.
You just gotta play in
and
the Big
not
Three
be
next,
me.
and then-
yeah, that's the only thing that I don't partake in. But you cannot do basketball and not do me.
Have you done summer league at any point? Like the actual NBA summer
I've
league?
gone to summer league, but just in terms of like, I've done the draft, like everything in basketball I've touched.
Now you're originally from Queens, right?
Queens, brother, Left Rack City.
Did you grow up a Mets fan?
I was born in Brooklyn, so first I was a baseball fan.
Okay.
So
What does that mean?
Just like baseball. I didn't
Okay.
know who to like. I was like Mets. So I was Mets Yankee.
That's what
Then
I
I
thought you
moved
were
to
saying.
Queens when third grade. So now I used to ride my bike up Flushing Meadow Park. I used to go up to the train station, and then right on the stop, you could see everything but right field.
Wow.
And I watched the game from there. So anything that hit right field, you'd be like, "Oh, what happened?" You know. And then there would always be like maybe 10 people up there, and the guy would have a radio, and we would just listen. So I used to watch the Mets. So I was a Met fan.
Okay.
You know, Tommy Agee, Darryl Strawberry later on, but from everyone.
That's
a
a good range. I
yeah.
mean, it seems like there's a lot of years
Yeah,
there.
a lot of range. Yeah,
but
a
I
lot
feel
of
like you're
range.
leading us somewhere bad.
And then when you leave New York and I go to North Carolina, I go to Houston, I'm just a New York guy. I'm the guy from New York. So you have to like anything New York. And then I became a Yankee fan too. So
You were right.
I had to. I mean,
Vito
because
smelled that
think
coming.
about this, Vito. You're in Houston, Texas,
Yeah.
Nice place.
and they go, "You're a New York guy. You're that New York guy." Oh, those Yankees. So now they start talking trash about anything New York, including the Yankees. You're gonna
Yeah.
let it slide.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump in. I'm gonna be like, yeah, I hate the Yankees.
No, you
let's
can't
get it.
let
Look,
New York. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't just let them talk about New York.
so I get it. So Vito's really never been outside of New York.
What are you talking about?
No, you've vacationed outside of New York, but like you lived outside
lived.
of New York.
Lived? No, I'm a
No.
townie.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
went to college in the Midwest. I'm an IU guy, so you know we could talk a little.
And they'd be like,
college
"There's a
hoops.
New York guy."
Exactly.
They don't say Mets, Yankee. They just think New York.
Do you want to hear something
Exactly.
funny? Do you know how much he like flexes being an IU guy?
I'm a proud Hoosier.
See what I'm saying? But if we talk trash about Indiana University, he wouldn't care if we're talking trash about the gymnastics team. He'd be
Okay.
like, no, you're not talking about anything IU. So that's how I became. You're not talking about anything New York bad, but my foundation is the Mets.
So tell us some memories of
The Miracle Mets, I was like all of that. I was living that. I used to cry when the Mets lost.
We still do that.
Still do, yeah.
I mean, literally.
Check in with us maybe tonight.
We
10
talked to
p.m.
Evan Roberts earlier today, and we were just commiserating over a bad Mets games.
literally cry, man. So, again, like I said, you ride your bike from Life Rock City to Flushing Meadow Park just to see 3/4 of the stadium, and you have to pay the 50 cent that it used to be to get on the train. When you never got on the train, just to look. That's how much a fan I was.
That's awesome. Now, did you grow up rooting for the New York Knickerbockers?
I grew up rooting for the Knicks and the Nets.
So you're a real both guy.
Yeah, because Dr. J.
Okay, that makes sense.
It wasn't the Jersey Nets then.
Right.
It was
Yeah.
the New York
They were
Nets.
playing on Long Island, right?
They were playing Long
Yeah,
Island.
yeah.
Yeah. So I was like Dr. J. He was the face of the basketball. Forget the NBA or whatever. He's ABA. He was the basketball. And then I was a Earl Monroe and Walt Frazier fan. I was a Clyde. I was a Clyde guy. Like I loved Clyde Frazier. I went to his basketball camps. I'm a New Yorker. I was like, you can't spell Kenny without NY.
So as a diehard New Yorker, you know the whole thing that happened in '94. Knicks haven't won a title since, it's been a while, and you kind of played a big role in preventing that. Was that a little bit weird for you, or not
Not
at
at
all?
all. No, it wasn't weird because we had more New Yorkers on our team than y'all did.
Okay.
We had two
Sam,
New
Sam
Yorkers.
Cassell from New York? No.
Mario Ellie
Okay.
from Harlem and Chucky Brown
Okay.
from Harlem. And I was from Queens. So we were New Yorkers because we were. So coming home, the craziest story ever, I think it's game, I don't remember, 3-4, whatever it was. So I'm in CVS. And I'm getting toothpaste. I'm like, I left toothpaste. I left my, floss. Let me go get some toiletries. And I go in the store and I'm getting it, and it's like, aisle three, cleanup. There's a Houston Rocket cleanup in aisle 3. Cleanup. There's a big mess there. And I was like, the whole store. Now the whole CVS is coming to me, and they're like, boo.
Oh,
They
man.
booed me at the thing. They booed me at the register. It was the funniest thing ever. And I was like, I'm from New York. Not anymore. Not anymore.
Oh, my goodness.
Now, like being from New York, playing at the Garden, like how important that is to you? Because we've heard like athletes not from New York, like we've heard LeBron James talk about like how playing at the Garden is unlike anything else.
New York is probably the only place where you play where scoring is not the only thing appreciated. So they pay attention to the good pass. Oh, he said, that screen got him open. Oh, he's open. Other places like who scores? Oh, he scored. Oh, he scored. Oh. It's good. Like, I think because we grew up also hockey.
The hockey assist, I was going to say like that.
So,
yeah.
we understand that scoring isn't the most important thing of the game. There's a lot of things that lead to the score, and maybe that's it. Obviously, because we have the only thing that you could play here is that 94 feet that you could put. That we don't have room for baseball fields and football fields. So in every third block, there's a basketball court.
You need a
so
permit.
everyone play.
You need a permit to just play on a baseball field in New York. Like you can't just go play pickup ball.
Right.
And basketball, like you said, like you could just show up and play.
There's one on 57th Street, 59th. There's a court everywhere that you imagine.
But is the Garden itself, like, is there something special about that building?
It's special because the fans pay attention. They're not always on their phones. They purposely dim the lighting where you don't see the fans and you can only see the court. It's purposeful. It's the perfect place to play.
You know what's interesting? I read something by a photographer recently talking about like why pictures of like 70s, 80s, and even 90s basketball is so much more impactful. And it's because you can't see the fans as much because of the smoke, because they used to allow smoking in arenas.
That's funny.
And that like these pictures used to have this like beautiful haze and like the fans you could barely see. And now the pictures are so high definition that you get like lost in the heads.
You
in
get
the
lost in the
background.
heads. But where they're, the Garden, the lights come down. And until like late 90s, they didn't have cheerleaders, the Knicks.
Oh, the Knicks City Dancers, yeah.
They didn't. There was like, no, there's no dancers.
No
so
BS.
Pat Riley brought the Knicks City Dancers from being a Laker girl.
Yeah.
The Laker girls.
Well, that makes sense.
there was no dance team. Like you just be like, yo, you coming to see the game.
Yeah.
Like, and so people appreciate the game a little bit more.
Speaking of 94, obviously playing in that NBA Finals, there was a pretty notable thing that happened during a game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
OJ?
Yeah, that's the one. From your perspective, you're playing in that game. Like, did you guys catch wind of it? Of course, this is before social media. So what was going on the bench and just, everything that night?
You might know the story because you couldn't have been leading. You couldn't be that good if you don't. But the story is, during the timeouts, all the press had the televisions on the stanchion. And so it's a timeout, and I'm sitting on the stanchion now. I look back, because I'm usually looking at to see if someone was really fouled, and I'm looking back, and I see the Bronco. And so I go into the huddle, and I go, OJ's on the run. NBA Finals.
Yeah.
OJ's on the run. So everybody's like, OJ's on the run. OJ's on the run. It's like, and Rudy's like, calm down. Rudy comes down.
Yeah.
Our coach is like, calm down. They're in their finals. You got to pay attention. What's going on? So the horn goes, barp, and we start going out. He runs away. He calls me back. He's like, is he really on the run?
Oh, my God.
I was like, yeah, he's on the run, man. So I was aware. And I made the team aware of what was going on during that time.
Did you guys tell the Knicks players also to maybe kind of
No, I
distract them a
didn't.
bit?
You know
Hey,
what? That should have
Patrick
been.
Ewing,
I said,
OJ's on the run.
OJ's on the run. No, I didn't tell him, but I did tell. It was like a knee-jerk reaction. You just look back and you're like, oh shit, OJ's on the run. Like, it wasn't. You forget where you are, So it was a knee-jerk reaction.
Oh man, that's incredible. I mean, that's an incredible story, and I'm sure you got some good stories about your partners on Inside the NBA, which has become just a phenomenon. Chuck and Shaq. Two funny guys. You're known for stumbling a little bit on the show. I know that happens from time to time when you're going to the set.
The funny thing is, we can make, like, I would say if the normal person is going to go buy a suitcase, we can make that an adventure on our show. Like, we can make the most mundane, simplest thing into a whole 30-minute show and then put basketball in the middle of it. I think that's what kind of separates what we do. We made me going to the board to talk about what the plays are going to happen into the world's biggest race, next best to the Olympics. Like, everyone's like, who's going to win the race to the board today? Like, it's the stupidest thing and the funniest and the most gratifying, all three. Like, man, when you think about it, how silly is that? But it's gratifying that we can make those things seem important.
You guys are a lot like the way when Monday Night Football first started, where Monday Night Football, people would talk about the broadcast more
Howard
than the game
Cosell.
sometimes. Howard Cosell.
Right.
And I feel like NBA on TNT, you guys are the star of the show. It's the only show where people watch for the halftime. Like,
the greatest compliment I ever get is people will say, I never watched the game, I watched y'all. Now think about that. That's like saying, I'm not going to the Jay-Z concert. I'm going to go and watch three guys talk about it. Like, what? You're not going to go and get into it and H to the Izzo? You're going to be like, no, tell me what happened at the concert. That, to me.
did something click? Like, was this the plan from the beginning, or was there a point a few years in where you guys realized, oh, we have something really special here?
Ernie and I were there by ourselves. When I said three, it was actually four of us. But when Ernie and I, it was just he and I. And we were getting a rhythm that was different from everyone else. And Charles saw that. And instead of going to NBC at the time, he joined us. So what Charles did was he just put igniter fluid on something we were already doing. People were paying attention to it, but didn't realize it until he came and and then it became a phenomenon. And then Shaq, he just brought the new generation of like humor that no one else was doing. So you put all those three things together, and that's what happened.
Who was funnier, Shaq or Chuck?
Two different, one's slapstick and one's barroom. Like, Charles is, to me, like, if he's the guy that if you went to the bar, he's gonna have all the one-liners.
A class clownish sort of.
Yeah. He's not a comedian stand-up, but he has the one-liners. Like, why did chicken cross the road? That's Chuck.
Yeah,
you know
okay.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shaq is like, throw the pie in my face.
He's got material.
No.
Oh, no material.
He's got throw the pie in my face.
Okay.
He's got push me down the stairs. Like, he's got that type of comedy. So one's slapstick, one is one-liners. So they're two different things. It's depending on what you like. So
Shaq's breakdown of how he doesn't have a lazy eye. I don't remember how many years ago that was.
or how he doesn't have a deep voice. So he can tell, or why you could put $40 of gas in your car and drive for 3 days. You can't. Like, no.
Oh my
Can I tell you
It's
actually?
called miles per gallon. You get a certain amount of miles every gallon. Doesn't matter how much you put in.
Can you relay a message back to Shaq for me?
What's that?
He ruined my childhood
In what way?
because my mom thought Shaq's were like good shoes. They were cool shoes.
Oh my God!
And my mom
They
didn't.
were a good thing. They were a good thing.
Yeah, but it sucked to go to school and wear your Shaqs and be like, I have Shaqs, and everybody be like, Yo, are you poor? Why are you wearing Shaqs?
my God.
You have Shaqs. We know how much you paid for your shoe.
Marbury's
They were the
also.
only shoes. They were the only shoes that didn't come in a box. They sell.
no.
Yeah, they were just on the rack. They were chilling loose. You'd have to match them. You have to find a left and a right that were the same size,
No,
the
they
same
had a
color.
box.
I'm a
Shaqs
si-
had a
no,
box.
they hung on a thing. I know, and I had size 16, so my mom had to be picky. I had size 14s at 11 years old. My mom had to be picky with my shoes, so she was bringing me back Shaqs because her thought was he had big feet.
Yeah, but
And I got
Nike
bullied.
does. Yeah, but you know what? I'm not mad at your mom. I'm just mad at. I'm
No,
just
I'm not
mad
mad
at
at my mom.
Shaq.
He tricked
Didn't
my
have
mom.
a box.
Yeah, I can pull up the
It
picture.
might have been the store. It might have been the store.
I can pull up the picture.
I
No,
feel
but,
like most of them
but
came
we used
with-
to call those skips.
Okay.
Like, you could get skips in like grocery stores, and they would be hanging.
Right.
They wouldn't be in a box, and they would be hanging by that plastic thing that you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know
so-
exactly what you mean.
Yeah, or rejects. We called them rejects.
That's
too.
why
we had
Vito
a
was
whole
bullied.
song. We had a whole song. We would have gave you the song.
Oh my goodness.
Rejects. You never heard that? They make your feet feel fine. Oh yeah.
that
Rejects.
Shaq with
They cost
that Shaq standing
$1.99.
with a display of them hanging.
Hey, they did the trick, right?
So I just need you to tell him that for me.
I'll tell him.
And
His
now-
social life was gone because of that.
On the topic of Shaq, an all-time great, and yourself, an all-time great, we're gonna ask you this one. Put you on the spot here. Who's the GOAT?
Of
The NBA?
ever?
Yeah.
Ever.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Not even a debate. Not even a second.
No,
like
Michael Jordan.
Not LeBron.
The greatest player that ever played basketball in our generation that we're living in. I never saw Wilt Chamberlain on a
Sure. Different game back then. Rules much different.
is Michael Jordan because he's the only player that when we have a scouting report and we go, hey, we're gonna run turn 5. That's our play, but we're gonna run it on the left side because Michael's on the right on defense. Like his defensive ability and capabilities was just as good as his offense, and I don't know if the guy that LeBron had been guarding his whole career had the same fear offensively. Like, I might not be able to do, like, you know, you play against some guys, you're like, man, he's going to kill me. He might, but I'm going to still get mine. You play against Michael, you go, I might not get mine tonight. And that, to me, makes you the greatest player of all time because people feared him at the two-guard position from a defensive standpoint just as much as they did him scoring.
all right, so that's GOAT player. Who's GOAT trash talker?
That I ever played with was Vernon Maxwell. I heard, he was better than Gary Payton.
Really?
Oh, much better.
Do you have any examples of things that were said?
Much better because Vernon didn't talk to the player. He talked to the entire stadium, the entire opposite team. He wasn't going at you. He was going at everyone who could listen. And so he'd be like, man, that's fake goal. He's like, if you see him, that's fake goal. He's bringing the ball up. You talking that, you got fake. He's like, you'll be like, I didn't even say anything to him. Like, I'm just sitting in the front row, like he's on me. Like, and he's coming, he's like, oh man, look at you got size 16s of those Shaqs. Like he would have said that. Like he would have, like he would have. Yeah, he's the GOAT. He's the GOAT of trash talk of all time.
We like to do Mount Rushmores. Do you have a Mount Rushmore of Mets all time?
Darryl Strawberry, Bobby Bonilla.
That's an interesting one. The first time around was good.
Yeah.
Second time, not so much.
No. The first time.
Yeah, first time.
First time.
Yeah, you gotta specify.
Rusty Staub.
Okay, Le Grand Orange.
I'm just like guys I liked.
Yeah,
Tommy Agee. I just loved his name.
that's 4.
Yeah.
So that's
Tommy
your 4.
Agee. Nolan Ryan.
He wasn't here long
wasn't
enough.
there. He
No,
wasn't
he
here
took off after he left.
Yeah,
You
'cause,
mentioned-
he went to Texas, and that's when he really.
And that's when we had no hitter. We had not a single no hitter, and he had 7 on his own. So
Ooh, my guy, all the saves.
John Franco?
No, not he's too old.
Benitez? Oh, Jesse Orosco.
He's been earlier.
Tug McGraw.
Tug McGraw.
There we go. There we go.
Tug McGraw.
He coined the phrase. You got to believe.
Yeah, Tug McGraw. I went old school. All
right, you're about to go out there and throw out the first pitch.
I'm gonna Tug McGraw it.
You're going to Tug McGraw it. It's the first game, Mets Yankees of 2024. Ceremonial first pitch after the anthem, like bright lights. Kenny, you're going to deliver a strike?
I'm not worried, bro.
Are you throwing for the
act like
rubber?
I've never been in front of people before. Come
No,
on.
I mean sure.
I'm gonna throw like I throw. So it's good. It's not because of the fans. It's not gonna. Whatever happens will not be because of the fans or with the lights.
you're going to
It's
throw
be
from the rubber, right? You're not going to go at the bottom of the hill.
wherever they tell me. They want
No,
me
it's up
top?
to you.
It's up to you.
Yeah, 60 feet 6 inches,
Yeah.
baby.
That's no. That's what. No, I'm just letting that go. Let that go. Let that go.
Foul. That's a technical foul.
Kenny, thanks so much.
That's 2 shots in the ball.
No doubt.
We got to get you out of here. You got to enjoy the game. Thanks so much
Okay,
for
thanks,
joining us,
man.
man.
Appreciate it, guys.